It comes on there.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of Phatts TV, sanctioned by PA Phatts and the non-genetically proven Sun. Any and all words have been authorized during the show. There is nothing off limits. Nobody is restricted from watching and participating in the show. It is a free-for-all. Commencing at the siren, any and all discussions will be legal for an extended period of time. Sports, politics, and any and all controversial topics will be talked about. You have been warned. May God be with us all.
Good evening and welcome to Phatts TV on this Friday night, June the 5th, day 1 of quasi-freedom.
It's not much different than red now, is it?
It's a little different than red.
Nothing's still
little
open,
different.
though. Nothing open.
Patios and restaurants. We were just talking about this 3 minutes ago.
Patios
and restaurants are open.
But I still can't
Boss
go...
Cobb's is opening tomorrow.
But I still can't go to the barber. I still can't go to the movie theater.
No.
I still can't go to the bowling center.
No.
I can't do anything indoors.
Going to the bowling center, that's a pretty good thing.
Maybe it's something to do while I'm doing nothing.
Well, it's not like you're going to be bowling for free.
I can go get a disc golf for free. Got it.
You can.
Disc golf for free.
There you go. Speaking of disc golf, you tried to do a league this week for the first time.
Started a league.
And you didn't get very far because of the rain.
4 holes.
4 holes. But you learned pretty quickly you're not as good as...
I learned very quickly that I thought it was all right. You know, not that good, but good enough to maybe compete in a local league or something. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Not even close. I was probably bottom 20%, I'd say.
Yes.
I mean, I looked at the scores because every week they post a score sheet and they have a whole stat sheet. If I shot par, I would have been like top. There was like 35. I think I would have been top 15.
Okay. So you went today.
I did go today.
Did you play the longer
I did not play long holes.
Because you told me you went even.
I went even.
Yes.
If I played the long holes, I probably would have went maybe 2 to 3 over. So that's not too bad.
All right.
Basing off my tee shots from the long hole holes.
So I'm perusing Facebook now because the fire alarms went off not too long ago, and there's a pretty big chicken house fire. Chicken house fire.
You want some cooked chicken?
No.
Why not?
No.
It's free cooked chicken.
That's a little too crispy.
It's fried chicken.
It's
Come on.
Too crispy. And we shouldn't make fun of some guy's barn. That's his livelihood. So if you're in the Burnville area, watch out. It's pretty bad up there right now. There was just a barn fire last night on the backside of Robisonia.
What's all the barn fires? It's too wet.
Yeah. So, how much is left on your timer? We're actually making dinner at the moment as
45 seconds.
So go check on that. That should be ready to come out. We're making dinner because everything's kind of pushed back late tonight. So I hope everybody had a couple last few days since we were here on Tuesday. Tuesday was a longer than normal show. I won't keep you as long tonight. Did you pull it out?
I did pull it out.
Okay. Did you shut off the oven?
I did.
Okay.
I'm not that dumb.
There's been several times where you haven't shut off the oven. Don't play with my butt scratcher!
Why?
Because you're going to break it.
With my toe?
Yes. So, experts. Experts suck.
Why?
They do. Experts.
Wait.
What?
Isn't the word expert means they're supposed to be good at what they're an expert at?
Yes. Well, they suck.
Why?
Whenever you turn on a TV show, like a talk show or anything, and they're going to interview an expert, something that they call an expert, or she is self-proclaimed an expert, just turn off the TV show. Seriously.
I don't know. When I listen to like podcasts of soccer or football in Europe, those experts are actually pretty good.
Really? So what are they doing?
They will talk about like potential transfers, who's obviously going to win and lose games.
Yeah, well, big deal. So let's talk about some experts. I'm not going to mention people by name. I'm going to mention 5 scenarios of experts.
Oh, I know the one that screwed us over.
So we're going to start with hydrochloroquine, if I said that right. That was the drug that our president said was really helping fight the beer bug.
And somebody like drink it?
Well, yeah, no. they drank a chemical. A chemical and died. So then you had all these experts come out and say, no, it's actually very bad. It could kill certain people. Well, what do you know? Yesterday, all those experts retracted the story. That drug works to help fight the beer bug with taking zinc also. So, hydrochloroquine's been around for forever. I mean, it's not a new drug. It's been pregnant women take it, for crying out loud. It's got to be pretty safe if a pregnant woman takes it. Mm-hmm. It's fairly cheap, too. That's probably why they wanted to say it wasn't a good drug, because it's readily available for a fairly cheap price. Mm. So, those are your experts in the medical field. Now, today, just today, the May jobs report, or the jobs report that comes out the first Friday of every month, unless it's the first Friday falls on the 1st. So it was the April jobs numbers came out. And you guys may have heard this. The experts, you want to do the two? Experts said the United States was going to lose between 8 and 9 million jobs.
It's what?
That's what the experts said. How many did we lose? Do you have any idea?
None. That is correct.
We gained. We gained over 2 million jobs. Experts. How could you be wrong by 10 million? Seriously.
Hey, compared to how many people are in the U.S., that's only 3%.
But seriously, how could you be wrong?
That's only 3%.
How could you be wrong by 10 million?
That's only 3% of the total population of the United States. Actually, it's less than 3%.
The stock market. This is the one that pisses me off.
And me.
Yes.
How much money did you lose me?
Not as much as...
Not as much as you lost yourself.
We didn't lose anything. The opportunity to gain more was there. So, for those of you that regularly watch the show, you know that I have money invested in Penn. Stock. No, I do.
You still do?
I do. I got back in at a fairly high price.
Guess you're not liking what happened today. I don't know that.
Well, yeah, but that's fine. Actually, I'd like it to go down so I could buy more. So I bought, as it was going down in March, I bought some at 9, I bought some at 7, I bought some at 5, I bought some at 4. And you bought some at like 4.25.
Yeah.
So it steadily went up and steadily went up and steadily went up. And we sold out at like, I don't know, 15 the first time, and it dropped back to 13. So we started to play the game where it would go up and we'd sell, and it would go down, and we would buy and it would go up and we'd sell, and we were making money that way. So it got up to 18 3 weeks ago yesterday. Now, since I'm working at home, one of the shows that I watch every morning is Varney and Company. It's a business show, and it's more for background noise. I can't really pay attention to it too much, but they talk about the stock market and they have on these so-called experts. So that day he had on all these experts that said the stock market's going to go back down. It's going to test its lows. Its lows was around 18,000, and it had climbed back up to like 22, 23,000 3 weeks ago. So the experts said, get ready. We're going to go back down. We're going to test the lows. So I sold all my pen stock, with the exception of just 2 shares, because I wanted to retain voting rights, because they were coming up on their voting where the shareholders vote. Not that my votes would matter, but my two votes. But I wanted to vote. But I had you get out.
Yeah.
Okay. The very next day, it closed at 22. It didn't go down like the experts said it was going to do. It went up. So, be that as it may, I didn't want myself to buy back in, and I didn't want him to buy back in until it went down again till 18. I was kind of hoping it would go back down to like 15.50 to really buy in there. So Monday came along and it went up to 23, and Tuesday came along and it went up to 24, and Wednesday came along and it went up to 26, and Thursday came along and it went up to 28. This morning, it didn't close here, but this morning it touched almost 41. $41. I'm not even going to tell you how many thousands of dollars potentially I could have made if I didn't listen to these fucking experts.
I would have made probably an extra 1,000 almost.
The only good news is I'm probably not in the next tax bracket because of it. Because I would have been in the next tax bracket. That's how much I would have made off this.
Hey, but you told me to buy, I got 300 shares smaller stocks now.
Yes.
I got like a stock that's worth like 47 cents.
Yes.
A stock that's worth like $4.
Yes. So we did, did some other things, and, I shifted around some things, and we bought back in on some things.
And one of GoPro.
I did get back in at Penn when it was at like 32. There was a day it was at 35, and it shrunk back to 32, and I bought back in. But I didn't want to have you buy in because you wouldn't be able to buy that many shares.
I would have been able to buy 25 shares.
Yeah, you got
shares.
1,500 in your account. So, I don't want you to hold all your money on there. I want you to find now cheaper stocks that you can buy a lot of, with the hopes that it will go from like 50 cents to $2, and then you triple your money, basically.
I'm going to go get our pizza.
Okay.
I'm hungry.
Okay. I'm not done talking about experts, though.
Well, I'm hungry. And the pizza smells good.
It does smell good. So, state reopening. As I said, now where I live, we are in the mellow yellow. Other states have opened completely for a lot of things. Not only have they opened for outdoor dining, they've also opened for indoor dining. Malls are open. A barber shops, as he was saying, he still can't get a haircut. I still can't get a haircut. But other states, their barber shops are open. Universal Studios is getting ready to open back up. But, when these states started to do this, the experts said, there's going to be a spike in the beer bug. There's going to be a spike. The experts warned us. Yeah, the experts were wrong. Again, there hasn't been a spike. In fact, now the experts are telling us that the vast majority of cases are coming from people inside the house transmitting it to other people inside the house.
Sounds like
Experts. Now for the big one.
I'm an expert.
The big one.
What's the big one first?
The big one.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
The big one.
That big one.
We like this one, though. The other ones, especially the stock market, we didn't like that one.
No.
We did not like that
Is the
one.
money you didn't make anywhere close to that horse a few weeks ago?
Oh, let's not talk about that either. He's getting ready to run on the turf next week sometime, like next weekend.
Wayno?
No, Laneway. Wayno is back to training, though.
Wayno's dead.
He's not. I just said he just got back to training from his injury. Let me
Oh, wait. One bite of it.
here.
Well, these are really hot, so I mean...
Let me see. I probably should have had this ready to play because I think it's so
hot.
So we made some pizza for dinner.
Yeah, I just burned my tongue.
Yes. All right. Well, I can't find the video. I tried to find it really quick. So the experts in the 2016 election said Hillary was a shoo-in. Remember that? These experts.
They gave her like an 80% chance to win.
Yes. And like on the early returns, like the New York Times had her at like 95%. And then it slowly went down. And then by 11 o'clock, Trump was now favored in the New York Times meter poll. Experts got it all wrong. People like Bob Beckel. Remember the day the polling came out that showed her up by 12? He said, "Oh, the race is over. The race is over. It's done. Kaput. Put a fork in it. It's done."
Thanks.
I haven't seen Bob Beckel since election night, actually.
The pizza is hot, by the way.
Yeah, the pizza.
According to Kiana.
The pizza's hot.
Yeah, it's hot. My tongue's on fire now.
Yeah, well, that'll teach you. So, experts. Now the experts are right now saying that Joe Biden is the favorite to win. I'm going to tell you this right now. Barring a major disaster, Joe Biden is not winning this election. Experts. I can't wait till they put up odds on who's going to win the state of Pennsylvania, because I'm telling you right now, Donald Trump, again, barring any major disasters, is winning the state of Pennsylvania and its 20 electoral votes.
Talking about...
Do we have a question in the audience?
It's not a question, it's a remark. We're talking about betting, right?
Yes.
The PBA is allowing you to bet soon.
The PBA is allowing
You're
us
allowed to bet on the PBA.
Nice.
Not sure what the exact things they're going to be allowed to bet on, but you can bet on the PBA.
Nice. By the way, this homemade pizza, one of the things that makes it really good,
The load of cheese you put on it?
besides Don Pepino sauce, in case you didn't hear me, Don Pepino sauce, is besides mozzarella cheese, you put some American cheese on it.
You put American on those?
Yes, I did, underneath the mozzarella.
Oh.
That really bumps up the taste of a pizza, if you ask me. What is Daryl saying?
It's from the horse. The last comment I read you.
Oh. Speaking of Daryl.
You like my 80s hairstyle?
Yeah, I do like your 80s hairstyle with that feathered back look. Speaking of Daryl, he left a post. He commented on one of my Facebook posts where he's talking about experts. Though they did get the masses to run like a bunch of puppets, the government wants to play chess with our lives. I, for one, will not be a pawn. That's what Daryl said. He will not be a pawn. But I bet he'd be a bishop. Can you see Daryl as a bishop?
No.
I could see Daryl as a bishop. Absolutely. Absolutely. Maybe even a knight.
She said maybe I should be more cautious. Thank you.
Is there any more left out there, or was this all?
What is all about?
Really? They're getting small on their pizza. What did Daryl have to say?
Nardones on the smoker grill kick ass.
Yeah, that's a good idea. What do you know? It wanted to flag the word ass.
That's a curse word now.
Or smoker. So anyway, experts. Clueless. Clueless. Don't listen to them. When an expert comes on, turn it off.
Well, don't listen to him either. So, your pen. Okay.
Well, yeah, because the experts said the stock market was getting ready to test its lows.
What's that now? 27,000?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What did it open up today at? 700 up? What did it end at today?
I don't know where it ended. I know it was up 1,000 for a little bit, but then it fell back.
I got your answer in 5 seconds. Come on.
Penn actually wound up down on the day.
Did end up down on the day.
So, as he's looking up what the stock market did.
Whenever my crappy connection wants to load.
Yeah, our router sucks anymore. Might be time to get a new one. So, before the show tonight, I...
ended up 829 up.
So it actually rebounded it. So before the show tonight, I had to go to the grocery store. Not a lot of food in the house at the moment because you eat it all.
Huh? I eat it all.
And
I eat chicken every day for lunch. I eat the same thing.
Yes, you gotta clean out the air fryer.
Air fryer.
Because you never clean it out. You gotta clean it out.
I get there every now and then.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I did it
so
once.
Anyway,
I did it once.
Oh, once. So anyway, the school district that we live in, this would have been their graduation night. So they're not having graduation, of course. So they were having a parade throughout all the towns in the school district from...
Except Stouchburg.
From East Elementary to West Elementary, which covers most of the towns. It's about a 7-mile drive, give or take. So anyway, it got me thinking. Thankfully, I got through it before the parade started, so I didn't get behind anything.
Yeah, you would have been behind that for a while.
Well, I would have had to take an alternate route.
Yeah.
Would have led me up towards the chicken fire, probably. But it got me thinking, you know, every school district should now go back and schedule graduation. Every single one should schedule a graduation and call it. So let's just pick a school district, XYZ ABC school district.
Okay.
So we're going to call it the graduation of XYZ ABC school district / George Floyd protest. Because then you could do it, apparently. Right? Right? Our commie governor was in a protest in Harrisburg yesterday. Where was the social distancing?
Well, that means every county's in green now.
Well, apparently. Where was the social distancing yesterday? You get all these rioters. Where's the social distancing? You had the mayor of New York a couple weeks ago threatening to arrest Jewish people that wanted to go to their temple. He said, if anybody goes swimming, I'm going to drag you out of the water and arrest you. He's not arresting rioters and looters. He's not arresting protesters for social distancing. So, all the school districts should now go back and have graduation. XYZ ABC graduation / George Floyd protest. And you could do it. What do you think? What do you think? What do you people think? Somebody tell me something while I take a bite of pizza. I don't see my sister online tonight. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. What does anybody think? What did Chris say?
What about the no funerals for us, but Floyd had 1,000+ people
Yeah.
at his?
Same thing. Couldn't have a funeral for dead people. But George Floyd, over 1,000 people. Which, by the way, I read something, don't know if it's true, that George Floyd was arrested a few years ago because him and some of his friends broke into a house and he held a gun to the stomach of a pregnant woman or something like that. Who knows if it's the truth? I don't know. I don't care. If it is, though, he's not the nice, great person that, his family is claiming him to be. But I digress. So, every day, as long as it's not raining, I go out for a walk.
And I go disc golfing.
Yes. So, on my walk today, I heard that the mayor of Washington, D.C.
Yeah. Big Republican.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Huge Trump supporter.
Wants to kick the National Guard out of Washington, D.C. Which, by the way, they're from Utah. Why they chose to bring in the Utah National Guard, who knows?
Because what's Utah? It's just like Montana. Who lives in Montana?
I don't know. But they had the Utah National Guard in there. She wanted to kick them out because, in her mind, it violated the Third Amendment to the Constitution. Now, I had to think for about 30 seconds, well, what the hell is the Third Amendment to the Constitution? I have no idea what the
Third Amendment is.
Then it clicked. Then I remember. Without looking it up, who knows what the Third Amendment to the Constitution is? Don't look it up. Of the Bill of Rights, this is the one that, never gets used. There's never been a Supreme Court case argued about the Third Amendment. There's only been one case in the Court of Appeals in the history of the United States about the Third Amendment. Who knows what the Third Amendment is without looking it up?
I'm going to look it up quick.
Don't look it up. Try to remember. You learned about it in school, didn't you?
Yeah.
How come you didn't cut this pizza?
What's wrong with it? You wanted it in 8 pieces?
So far, no one's telling me what the Third Amendment to the Constitution is.
Oh, God. I would remember that. Well, you can't. Right there. That's not,
Okay. So the Third Amendment to the Constitution reads, "No soldier shall, in the time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law." Like I said, it's like the least known amendment in the Bill of Rights. Because back in the day, the British did that. They would come in they would quarter their troops in private residences. So
that would make sense back in, 17 whatever, that was put in.
Yes, it was quartering acts, as it was called. So this was done to appease anti-federalists.
Okay.
So now, let me read it again, because this is important. I highly doubt the mayor of Washington, D.C. probably has ever read the Constitution. I highly doubt it. "No soldier shall, in the time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law." Okay. So, these National Guardsmen are staying in a hotel.
Okay.
They're paying to stay there. If they're paying to stay there, does that not mean they have consent to stay there?
I'd say that's consent.
I would say if they're paying to be there, there's a contract signed between the hotel and the National Guard unit. I would say they have consent. But what do I know? I'm just a dumb white guy who's only read the Constitution, 45 times in his life.
You've actually read the Constitution?
Hell yeah, you should read the Constitution. We had a class in grade school where we talked about all of the amendments. Not the new one, because there wasn't that new one when I was in school. For all you old timers that didn't know that we have a new amendment to the Constitution.
Well, like the 26th?
7th, right?
7th.
Right? Passed about 8-10 years ago. that's been out there for 200 years.
What is it?
How does a law get onto the Constitution? There's two ways. One is a convention of the states. So let's just get that one right out of the way.
I thought it was something like 2/3 of vote or something.
It's got to pass the House, it's got to pass the Senate, and it's got to pass 2/3 of the states.
That's what it is.
Man. Yeah. Civics. Attaboy.
I took government for one semester
Oh?
in high school. We barely talked about the amendments.
Right.
I think all we had to do for a test was write how many there were.
You should. You should. Every school kid should know the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. Ugh. Don't get me started on... So anyway...
It sounds like the last part of the statement makes it okay by law.
What? Chew your food and then say that again.
Why can't you read it?
Because I can't see that far.
It sounds like the last part of the statement makes it okay by law.
Well, in a manner prescribed by law, so they'd have to pass laws. But other than that, the only way you could be quartered is you need the consent of owners.
Okay.
So anyway, speaking of the military, Governor Blackface down in Virginia, he said that they were going to remove the statue of Robert E. Lee from Richmond, where the State House is in Richmond. So I took to Twitter yesterday and I replied to the post that the gentleman who was a journalist said, and I basically said, do whatever you want with the statue, just don't erase history. And because as far as I know, now I love history. I'm a history buff.
Really?
Yeah, really. Who would have known? Who would have known? Now, certain types of history, like I love studying American history. I love studying the colonial times. I love studying British history.
You don't like studying world history?
It depends where we're studying
Asia.
and what time period we're studying.
Asia, where with the Six Nations or whatever.
The Six Nations. Give me the time period.
Oh, I don't know.
American history,
whatever.
American history and British history are my favorites to study.
How about
American history and British history are my favorites to study.
Russian history?
Russia with love. Yeah, Russian history is pretty cool, but it's not my favorite. American history and British history.
Who was the ruler after Stalin?
After Stalin? I don't know. Stalin Jr. Brezhnev. I don't know. I don't know.
Who was the ruler after him?
I don't know.
Who was the one that undid the Iron Curtain?
Gorbachev.
Hey, at least you know that.
Who was after Gorbachev?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, there you go.
After Gorbachev.
What's his name? Yeltsin.
Yeah.
Boris Yeltsin.
I don't know. They're not communist.
Not anymore.
Right.
So anyway,
I feel like if Putin could get rid of us, I think he might take over the world.
So I made this post where I said, just don't erase history. And besides, Robert E. Lee was anti-slavery. He chose to fight for the South because out of duty for Virginia. Because he lived in Virginia and he felt a duty. But he was anti-slavery. From everything I've ever learned about the guy, he was anti-slavery. Well, I got roasted all day long on Twitter. I got roasted. I have no idea how many comments were put under my tweet. He should have been hung for treason. He was a traitor to the United States. He hated slaves. He went to Pennsylvania and recaptured slaves. That was a lie, by the way, and I proved that one to be a lie.
It says I should start singing what you are saying. I got the faces down.
Okay.
I proved that was a lie.
I did prove that one was a lie.
I did prove that
Yes.
one was a lie.
It did happen.
It did happen.
But Lee was not the one that did it.
But Lee was not the one that did it.
Are you saying I'm a preacher?
Apparently.
Are you saying I'm preaching?
Apparently.
So anyway, I got literally roasted on Twitter all day. All day, all of the night. There had to be 100 comments by the time it was done.
That's funny.
And I think about 5 people liked what I wrote. I mean,
So
I
you're telling
got
me
roasted.
5% are not idiots and 95 are.
Hey, maybe everything I've ever learned about the guy is wrong. I mean, I could pull up a letter that he wrote to his wife where he basically said slavery's not right.
Well, if he committed treason, why was his statue not taken down 100 whatever years ago?
I mean, but see, that's the thing. See, everybody wants to equate it today. You know, nobody knows what life was like back in the 1860s. There was a sense of honor back then, a sense of duty. You don't have that now. Now all people care about is, you know,
Shoving their face with pizza.
what Nike Air Jordans they're going to get when they loot the Nike store tonight. That's all they care about.
The Nike store's been looted, buddy.
All they care about.
Signing, not singing. I should start signing what you say.
Yeah.
So, does that work?
You are really becoming a good sidekick.
Am I?
Yeah, at least you talk more now. Before you just sit there. So anyway,
Is that what I'm doing now?
no, you correspond more. So anyway,
Yeah, make fun of you.
Drew Brees,
What a guy.
he's a football player. In case you didn't know,
Who knew?
New Orleans
Mind
Saints.
blown. Oh,
New
I
Orleans
looked like an idiot doing that.
New Orleans Saints. But at least you got a good hairstyle doing it.
That's right. Gotta give it the brush back.
You look like you should be like a surfer now. Captain of the football team. You look like a jock. No. But so anyway, Drew Brees.
Drew Brees.
Drew Brees takes to social media, and there was an interview and whatever, where he said he finds kneeling for the national anthem disrespectful.
Okay.
Both of his grandfathers or something like that served in World War II, I believe.
Looking 25 instead of 20.
So he thinks it's disrespectful. And another person that got roasted all over social media for it. Even the king, LeBron James. Oh, Drew Brees doesn't understand, blah, 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 blah. So he was forced to apologize, and he was roasted on the other side. So he was forced to apologize again. He had to apologize for the apology.
I don't know why he didn't just stand up and keep his word. If they don't like it, what is that? What does it matter?
Again, you know, this is my opinion. And respect my opinion just like I respect your opinion. Even though I might think your opinion's idiotic, I'm going to respect it. Colin Kaepernick and whoever wants to has the right to kneel for the national anthem. Let's see if for all of you people who are my age and older, about my age and older, what was going on in the early 90s that had outrage when talking about the flag? Let's see who remembers this. You don't.
I'm trying to think.
You weren't alive.
I'm thinking.
You weren't alive.
I'm thinking.
Don't say it if you think about it. What was going on in the early 90s? Who remembers? Watch for comments. Why?
A lot of things were going on in the early 90s.
Well, there was something
he should not have
specific.
to apologize. Trump feels the same.
What was going on in the early 90s? Let's see who remembers. Anybody? Bueller?
We're gonna look. It's
Anybody?
the second I see it, I'm gonna be like, oh.
Why? Why would you know? Let's put it this way. The president at the time wanted to make a constitutional amendment for it.
Oh, I know what it is.
Does that shake your memory at all? We talked about this yesterday.
That's why I remember it. Yeah, our internet sucks.
Does that jog your memory? Anybody? Anybody? Do we have any comments yet?
Nope. I got one.
What happened in the fall of 1990?
There's one answer.
Very good. What happened in the fall of 1990?
The 9-year pre-anniversary of my birth.
That's true. That's true. We had the invasion of Kuwait in 1990.
Get a haircut so I look 20 again.
We can't right now.
You want me to shave the beard so I look 12?
We had the invasion of Iraq in 1990. I remember my girlfriend at the time was so afraid that I was going to get drafted. Like, yeah, they were going to institute the draft. Yeah.
For Iraq?
It was our first major conflict since Vietnam. I mean, again, gotta know your history.
Yes, I know there was a draft for Vietnam.
So you gotta know your history.
And then we pulled out of it, and then the South Vietnamese got whooped.
Yes. So, anyway, a lot of people protested if you want to call it a war, you could call it a war.
Said yes, because she looks 12.
By what? What did they do? They burned the flag. And President Bush, Papa Bush, wanted to have a constitutional amendment, and so did a lot of Republicans in Congress. Well, we don't have that constitutional amendment. And in fact, that was the issue that started me on the road to becoming a libertarian. Believe it or not, it was that issue. Because at first, I was dead set against it. People being allowed to burn the flag. I hated it. Hated the idea. Pro-America, rah, 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 rah. And then I went back and reread the Constitution for probably about the 12th time back then. And realized, well, that's freedom of expression. That's the right to protest. They have the right to do that. So I changed my mind. Because it's the right thing. They should. As much as I hate seeing somebody burn the flag, they have the right to do it. As much as I don't like somebody kneeling for the national anthem, they have the right to do it. As much as I agree with Drew Brees thinking it's disrespectful, he has the right to have that opinion. And in my opinion, if you have a problem with any of them, you're part of the problem. But that's my opinion. You're allowed to disagree.
Wow, we actually differ on something.
What? What? You don't think people should be allowed to kneel for the national anthem?
No.
You don't think people should be allowed to burn the flag? Do you? No. Why? Why not? Go ahead.
That's
you
extremely rude.
It is rude
to the how many millions of people have died for this country.
They
would, if you did that back in, let's say, the 60s,
you
would get ransacked.
No, you wouldn't. They would have supported it in the 60s, in the late 60s,
40s.
at least.
The 40s.
Yes, you would have. But
I think that's too disrespectful.
I remember back in the 90s when back then what became the progressive media, they would give both sides of it, and you would have veterans, World War II veterans and Vietnam veterans and Korean War veterans that have your opinion. And then there were veterans that had my opinion that said, yeah, I fought for the right for you to be able to do that.
I mean, I'd sooner say it's okay to kneel, but burning the flag,
It is a freedom of expression.
I guess.
As much as I don't like it. And I don't like it. I hate it. I can't stand it.
I don't even like it when people have the flag on the ground.
Yes.
Let alone burning it.
Yes. Now, granted, actually, burning it is the way to dispose of it, by the way. Just so you know. Like, it's never supposed to touch the ground. Mm-hmm. So what do you do when it's ripped up and shattered? You're supposed to burn it. Just so you know. But that's irrelevant to the conversation.
So it's white. and
what? Spray paint PA Phatts on it? Phatts TV?
That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, my opinion. You guys have your opinion. What do you guys think? I would be interested to know. Because I don't get enough comments on my Facebook posts about certain things.
You post like 10 times a day.
Lately I have been.
And I read them all.
It's because some of them you get tagged in.
I like your yellow.
Yellow!
Woo!
Yellow.
Means nothing different.
So the last thing I want to talk about tonight, and we've already been on for 44 minutes, so I already figured we would be done by now.
Wow.
What does Daryl have to say, by the way?
It could be argued they died so no one can stand up for what they believe in, even though one might not agree with the other.
That's true. Absolutely true. So anyway, I made this post last night, and I really thought I would get a lot of people to comment and or like it. And I only got 2, and it disappointed me. It's so much so that I thought...
see the 2 people that liked it.
I said 2. I got 2.
It's just that that's not the 2 people I was going to look over and expect to see that like that post.
So my thought was maybe Facebook was hiding this post. Because it's kind of controversial in a way.
Did I see this post? I did not.
See?
I didn't see this post.
So maybe Facebook was hiding it. I made it at almost...
Usually your posts come up to the top of my feed.
Yes, it was made last night between 8 and 8:30, so I would like to know if people didn't see this. So, Tom Cotton. Tom Cotton is a senator of the United States, Republican senator from Arkansas.
What a state.
It's a good state, even though Clinton was from it.
What's wrong with Clinton? He's the first black president.
He was the first black president. It's all right. You know where Hillary was from?
Where?
Same place Joe Biden's from.
Scranton.
Mm-hmm.
And she still lost Pennsylvania. That's even more funny.
Again, like her. I don't know if she was born in Pennsylvania, but when her father died, he was living in Pennsylvania. But her father died like not too long after Clinton became president. Because I remember the plane flying into Avoca, Wilkes-Barre Scranton Airport for the funeral. But anyway, so Tom Cotton wrote this op-ed piece in the New York Times in support of the Insurrection Act that we should use troops if governors weren't going to do their job of protecting the people. Which, sidebar to this, Minneapolis is basically considering disbanding the police. And Los Angeles wants to cut like up to $150 million from the police budget. I would love to see Minneapolis. How come I can never say that word when I'm on camera? When I'm off camera, I could say it just fine. But when I'm on camera, I can't say it. But anyway, I digress. I would love to see that happen because I would love to see if lawlessness would break out. You would think it would. That would make sense.
Then it is the purge.
Like, because then what? Do we have vigilante justice? Like, do people like me grab your gun and start shooting people if they try to loot your store or something?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I don't know why that's not happening now.
Yeah, well, it has in a couple spots. There has been a couple.
I would probably be sitting inside my store with my shotgun pointed at the door.
Yes, I told you on Tuesday that they tried to do it to a gun shop.
Not the smartest idea in the world.
The owner was in the store.
With his assault rifle.
Yes. So it would be interesting to see what happens if they disband the police department and replace it with something else. I don't know what they're going to replace it with, but
you have 24 hours.
It'll be very interesting.
Oh, you have 12 hours. There's a announcement.
Yes.
Through City Hall.
The new founding fathers.
The new founding fathers of America of Minneapolis.
So Tom Cotton wrote this op-ed piece, and it was for the New York Times, which it shocked the living hell out of me that the New York Times posted this. Because basically the New York Times is nothing more than a communist ragtag.
Oh, it's so funny
anymore.
to see what some people share on Facebook from the New York Times about Trump. It's hilarious.
It's pathetic what the New York Times, once a very reputable newspaper, has become. It used to be the reputable newspaper in this nation for many, many, many decades. It's now garbage. So anyway, it's on the opinion page of the New York Times. The opinion page.
I always like the opinion page.
The opinion page. Well, needless to say, the left came, and they came in force. And by the end of the next day, the New York Times issued an apology for posting an op-ed piece contrary to what progressives believe. Now, Antifa is supposed to mean anti-fascist. When you silence one side of the debate, and basically the New York Times basically said we're going to stop posting conservative opinions now, because like they're now going to have fact checkers for opinion pages.
No, what?
Yeah, so
that makes sense.
So now the New York Times is only going to show one side of opinions. That's what fascism is. When you silence out one side of the argument and only have the other side of the argument, that's fascism.
I got a random topic.
Fascism has come to America, and it's in the New York Times. And that was my post last night for those of you that didn't see it. It says, if there's any doubt that fascism exists in the United States, let me give you the New York Times. Yesterday, they surprisingly ran an op-ed piece from Republican Senator Tom Cotton. Today, the backlash came swift and hard, which forced the Times to issue an apology for publishing the article. I'm really getting good at choosing my words when I post some stuff. I've gotten better over the years. The continuous uptake in fascist attitudes in this country grows stronger by the day. Everybody on the side of freedom, for those of you that like to read, even for those of you that don't like to read, you should really pick up a book, and I've talked about this on the show already, from Saul Alinsky called Rules for Radicals. It's a book that I believe came out in the 60s. It's a very interesting read, because that's basically the progressive playbook anymore. It's basically do all these bad things and blame the other side. Like say that the other side is doing it while all along it's you that's doing it. It's very interesting. So anyway, everybody on the side of freedom should take the time to read Saul Alinsky's book, Rules for Radicals. We need to understand the playbook of these fascist radicals funded by George Soros and the Progressive Party before we lose our republic. The future of our children are in our hands. Because let's face it, progressive indoctrination happens in schools all the time. When you were in high school, did any teacher ever give the conservative viewpoint on anything?
Good one.
So the answer is
a good
no.
one. No.
No. And we're in a rural area. It's not like we're in urban. We're in the rural area. We're in a highly conservative area.
Question or thing here.
What?
Whom is fact-checking the fact-checkers?
Exactly.
And an opinion can't be fact-checked by anyone but the person with that opinion.
Yes, exactly.
I have a random thing that I want your opinion on.
Okay. Remember what you want to ask me.
Well, I have the article right here.
Okay. So,
you may or may not have seen it.
Pick up the book, Rules for Radicals, and give it a read. Because, as I just said, where we live is very conservative, and yet, in school, he never got the conservative viewpoint. Forget what you're going to get in college. Forget that. The progressives, as I once said, is very good at keeping to message. And over the past 2 generations, when kids only hear one side of the argument, that's what they become, because that's all they know. We have to learn to fight back, and we have to learn to fight back hard. All right, what do you want to bring up?
Did you see anything about Penn State girls?
Girls of Penn State?
Yes.
No.
Okay. It's there's a petition to request disciplinary
Take 2.
Requesting disciplinary action for an alleged Penn State student involved with a social media post featuring swastikas has now received over, well, this is 1,600, it's over 50,000.
Okay.
It said, one of the girls photographed an alleged to be a Penn State student, that person, The photo depicts her and another girl with swastikas drawn on each of their backs. The petition, created by an anonymous individual, denounces the behavior depicted in a social media post and calls for Penn State to issue consequences against the alleged student. Allowing her to remain a student of Penn State is disservice to all Jewish people living or dead. The petition said it sends the message that anti-Semitic actions and ideals are accepted by the university, and Penn State doesn't care about protecting its Jewish students as well as other oppressed and underrepresented minorities. What's your opinion?
They should be allowed to stay in school. As much as I hate swastikas, again, it's freedom of expression. Although, if I were to do that at my job, I would probably get fired from my job since I'm not a union employee. It's a very touchy subject.
I signed a petition.
That's fine. Because you don't want to be on the other side.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, but the thing is, it's posted. If there was a picture, that's one thing. If it's on their phone, okay, but they posted it. Mm-hmm. That's what's like...
Did it say anything under the post?
I don't know. Let me look. I can look for the post.
Okay.
Because that was on the Collegian, that article.
I mean, again, it goes back to somebody's First Amendment rights. Now, do I like it? No. Which, by the way, during the 30s, before World War II struck out, there was a Nazi party in America. And I remember they had this big shindig at Madison Square Garden once. And a lot of people showed up for it. So, do I think they should be expelled? No, but they're not going to have any friends left on school, so they might as well just quit. No one's going to like them. They're going to be harassed at all times. Like I said, if I did it at my job, yeah, I probably would be fired.
But I know there's a lot of signatures on it.
And I'm sure there will be, because, again, everybody's got to take the side of political correctness. You know, last week, or last Tuesday's show, when I was talking about the black box, you know, I saw a great Twitter post after the show, and I wish I saw it before the show because I would have put it up. It was from the show Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And it was from, I'm really suck remembering the names. The girl with the blonde hair that took over as ruler of the people that came from across the shore. And there was one scene in when they first accepted her as the ruler that they all lifted her up above the crowd. And that was basically the post. It said, how a white person feels after they put up the black box.
Oh, I just remembered something and then I forgot it.
Oh, now you know how I feel.
It'll come to me.
Well, hurry up. Because
when the show ends, it'll come to me.
Of course. That's why you gotta write notes. You should keep it
Look, it just came to me and then it left that quickly, too. That happened to you.
Happens to me all the time, but I'm old.
Because I was trying to listen to you, and then...
And that's why you should have a pad where you can write notes. Notes! Write your notes.
If we all have these rights, why are we upset with the left politics? Aren't they allowed to their freedom of expression? Now I'm confused.
They are allowed freedom of expression. Does freedom of expression count for rioting and looting, though? Is that freedom of expression?
No.
The problem is...
I got called old.
You are old. The problem is, with the left, is only their viewpoint is right to them people. They won't even stop and let somebody argue the other side of their viewpoint. Like I said, they're very good at staying on message. And they will just come at you. Like I said, I posted that thing on Twitter yesterday. I must have had 100 comments. There literally must be 100 comments to my reaction to the gentleman that posted that the statue was being taken down. And I didn't care. Again, I didn't care that they were taking down the statue. I just wanted to say, don't forget history because Lee was anti-slavery. Don't forget history because history is important. If we forget our history, we're going to repeat our history. And everybody should always remember our history, even the bad history. Especially the bad history.
I thought of another thing.
What?
I was always told, 2 history teachers told me this, that history will always repeat itself.
It will. It does. Especially if you forget it. then it's going to come
And
around
they
again.
seem to emphasize the bad history.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
World War One, World War Two, so to
Yes.
say.
History will always repeat itself, especially if you forget it. Always. Always. So take the statue, put it in a museum. Fine, super, great. Just don't forget your history. It's too important.
You forgot that the Spanish helped with our revolution.
Yeah. Oh, geez, I can't remember everything. Thanks. But I did know the French helped us.
I knew the French helped us because Ben Franklin went over and got the French's help while mooching on the locals.
He did. He was a moocher. He was the original PA Fats.
And then Adams went over there and helped.
Which Adams?
John.
John or John Quincy. Know your history.
Just John Adams.
Know your history. You sure about that?
Yes.
Know your history.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Which one of them was president? John Adams or John Quincy Adams?
John Adams.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you positive?
Yeah.
Are you absolutely sure?
Yeah.
It's a trick question. Both were.
I don't care.
Both were. the only before Bush's father and son.
You know
became
what?
President.
You know what?
What?
You know what?
And by the way, both of them were.
Because you know how good the second president of the United States was.
I do, because I know he would be what a modern day progressive would be. He was for big government. That's why he lost to Jefferson. Jefferson was small government.
George Washington.
He was all right.
He didn't even want to be president.
I know
he
he
was
didn't.
just kind of forced.
He
to
did it
take
for duty. He did it because he felt it was his
Everyone
duty.
was telling him to be the president. He was just like, fine.
Yes.
So we did.
Yes. Yes. And then everybody wanted Adams except for one person did not vote for Adams because he felt George Washington should only be the only person ever to be unanimously voted for president. So he voted for somebody else. There's a really good documentary out about John Adams. It was on HBO, maybe 10, 12
our
years ago
internet's
now.
so bad.
It is. We probably got to reset the router. But yet we're
I
staying.
reset it yesterday.
But yet we're staying online here just fine.
I only get 1 bar service here. It doesn't matter how good the internet is.
Well, then
I
why
have
don't you be on 4G? Turn the Wi-Fi off.
I only have 1 bar of service. 2.
Oh, you're talking about for your phone.
Yeah, but
Oh.
that's still like. affects
Speaking of
the
history, tomorrow's date. Yes.
6/6
Yes. What's 6/6?
D-Day.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Am I right?
I don't know.
Am I
Look it
right?
up. I don't want to give you all the answers. Isn't that the day that
It's one of 2 things, and I don't remember which one is which.
didn't Joe Biden say that was the day that Delaware became independent on Pearl Harbor Day?
Yeah, it was.
June the
All right.
6th?
It was either D-Day, and I remember there was an early day of the month that we dropped one of the nukes.
By the way, Joe Biden was out. He gave his own basket of deplorables comment. Remember Hillary's comment in the 2016 election? You know, Trump and his basket of deplorables. Remember Obama? People cling to their guns in Pennsylvania.
Oh, it was July 16th. Never mind.
July
16th, like July 18th.
So Biden's out now saying, 10 to 15% of the population of the United States are bad people. So basically he's saying 50 million people in the United States are bad people. That's a lot of people.
And then you're not black if you don't vote for him.
That's a lot of people, though. It's a lot of people to be bad. A lot of people going to confession. Because they're bad.
There's a whole story about that.
Because they're bad.
Whole story about
Gotta
go,
go to
to confession. Little girls are laughing.
Oh, yes. You want to... Wait, I was going to say you want to tell a story, but you weren't there.
I was on the
You were on the
field.
field. You were on the field playing the game.
That game was rough.
That was a rough game. And
The
the
parents got into it.
yeah, so quick story. Hopefully you will find this as funny as I laughed my ass off when this happened. It was when he was in high school. It was your junior year.
Yeah, because that's when we lost like 6-0.
Yes. They were playing a game at a Catholic high school. Now, I went to Catholic school.
Burke's Catholic.
Okay, but I don't like telling people where we live. They played a game at a Catholic high school. And it was extremely rough. It was a rough game. The Catholics came out and played like Notre Dame that day. I don't mean rough as in it was a hard game. It was rough. It was very physically
everyone
played.
was just taking out each other.
Yes, it was very, very rough. And
one of our guys swung.
One of our guys swung at one of their players, and all of a sudden, the two parents started to yell at each other, which caused a bunch of other parents to yell at each other, especially on the Catholic school parents. They really got vocal, and I finally said something. And one of them shouted back at me, and I said, "Go to confession!" Because he said like the word hell or like go to hell or something. And I said, "Go to confession!"
And then like two high school girls.
Yes, there was these two high school girls like sitting 3 or 4 feet away from me. They couldn't stop laughing for like 3 or 4 minutes. Go to confession!
Yeah, there was like 5 or 6, 7 yellow cards in that game.
That was a very rough game.
Not as rough as Fleetwood Weiser in club soccer.
And then next year you kicked the Catholic school's ass.
3-0.
Yes. And then they came back and beat one of the best teams the next night.
Tolpe.
Anyway. All right.
Yeah,
so
they weren't playing down.
Now I've managed to stay on for over an hour when I said this was going to be a relatively quick show.
See? See?
So you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe. For those of you that live in this area, happy yellow weekend. Get out and do something. Go to a restaurant.
As if I haven't been doing anything.
Go to a restaurant. Spend a little money.
Are we going to a restaurant?
No, probably not.
Oh, we should go to...
What did I tell you? You said you were going, you have to go buy shorts tomorrow. I said maybe I'll have you stop at Chick-fil-A for lunch.
As if I wasn't doing that already. And it's so funny. The line wraps on the building twice, and then I just walk in, walk out by the time the person gets like 2 spots.
Yeah.
Because they're like, they don't realize they can walk in. And people are like, they may not have a mask. I'm like, who doesn't have a mask?
Yeah, everybody's got a mask.
Who doesn't have a mask
Everybody's
by
got
now? You can put your shirt over your face and they'll accept that.
Really?
I think so. I've seen people do it.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Kind of like Alyssa Milano having a mask that was crocheted.
Yeah. I mean, this is no better than the mask I've been using. It's really no better.
You don't look like you're from the 80s now. All right, everybody, have a safe, happy, and healthy weekend. We will see you Tuesday, assuming my co-host here is home at 8 o'clock.
What do you mean? I'm always here.
You weren't here 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago.
Sorry.
10 days ago, you were not here.
Sorry.
Oh, by the way, look out tomorrow in Washington, because one of the reasons why, in my opinion, she wanted to kick the National Guard out, they're expecting over 1 million people to be protesting in Washington, D.C. tomorrow. So it could be a little rough of a weekend around the country, especially at Washington, D.C. So if you're going to Washington, D.C., stay safe. Just drop my name if you need to. Just say PA Phatts, and they'll back off, I promise. I'm well known. I think. I hope. Get our exit music ready.
Oh, it's been ready.
Okay. I hope I'm well known. See everybody. Have a great weekend.